Hey everyone, Tony D and Little Joan here on a Screenwriter's Rant. We're going to take a look at Big Time Adolescence, I think it's the first Pete Davidson movie. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books, Wokistan, a Novel, and The Pineys, books 1, 2, and 3, available in ebook, trade paperback, Kindle Unlimited for free, and audiobooks coming soon. Also, The Webcomic Factory, celebrating 10 years of webcomics at thewebcomicfactory.com. Now, Big Time Adolescence. Pete Davidson, he's that kid who's on Saturday Night Live and he's dating all sorts of like hot chicks, famous hot chicks. I'm not a huge fan of his comedy. I have a grudging respect for him for that time he was doing stand-up and he kind of told the woke crowd to go F themselves, basically, because they were getting a little too sensitive. But he strikes me as the kind of guy he's a little too famous right now, and it's kind of like, it's kind of like messing with his head a bit. And these SNL movies, I don't hold out a lot of hope that they're any good because they just seem to grind them out. And it's not like when they first did them, when the first SNL cast did movies, it was like a big deal. And you're talking Animal House. That was a big deal. That was when comedies were big. Now you're talking like, they just sort of crank them out because they're contractually obligated to, I think. But let's take a look. I'll try to keep an open mind. Let's go. Oh, it's a Hulu film.
This is dope.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of just looks like a bunch of scribbles and dicks.
And when you get older, you realize that's kind of all life is. It's just a bunch of scribbles and dicks and violence all in a void.
Okay, it's Sundance. It's a little higher end. It's going to be a little more cerebral. It's not going to be, although, that conversation seemed pretty standard for, a bro movie.
Zeke was my sister's ex-boyfriend. He was the man.
You gotta jerk off before you go fuck a girl. I jerked off before I picked you up. So I always be prepared. I don't know where the fuck we're going tonight.
And he made me feel like the man.
Fuck yeah, Mo. Got a home run.
Who's gonna drink it?
Hold on, what's in that?
Whiskey, beer, cough syrup, and Zanny bar. Oh, damn. That's my dude.
You meet some punk, and you have no idea at the time that he's going to be parked in front of your house every day for the rest of your goddamn life.
You're in high school.
You should be making friends your own age.
I like hanging out with Zeke. This weekend, Paul's house. It's so on.
You should sell my pot at your party.
You think I'm just gonna walk into a party and everyone's gonna wanna buy pot for me?
Call me crazy.
Who's ready to party? You're acting real silly right now, all right? That chick is like 16 years old.
Nick, I'm 16.
Exactly. What?
It doesn't look bad for a coming-of-age movie. I gotta say, looks pretty good. Pete Davidson sort of stays within his lane. He kind of comes off as this kind of guy in real life. Bit of a, I don't want to say scumbag, but a bit of a, guy who just parties and doesn't give an F, and and a guy who would act like this. So it's a good casting choice, definitely.
Kids are supposed to make mistakes. That's what the whole point of being a kid is.
Yo, I think it's time.
What the? You permanently inked Tongue Daddy to your skin. What does that even mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it looks good. A smart move on Pete Davidson's part for doing a movie like this. Typically, previous ones, man, it's just some really awful movies. Jimmy Fallon's movies, they just, in my view, were horrendous. Just horrendous stuff. So And again, I'm not a Pete Davidson fan. I don't really like him, but I gotta say, this movie looks good. I mean, it looks very watchable. He's cast right because, see, he's not the main character. He's that guy. I mean, he's the fun character. And if they do this movie right, the first act would be, him kind of meeting Zeke and his sister, dating him and stuff. And then the second act would be about their friendship and how, he teaches them not really to be a man per se, but to be a man like he's a man, kind of. But then by the end of the second act, he probably gets disillusioned with Zeke and sees him for who he is. He's really kind of a grown kid, and then, he eventually decides that he is his friend and comes back to him, but by that time his sister breaks up with him, and then he's not going to see him anymore, basically. So it's about growing up, and it looks pretty realistic. That soundtrack makes me want to punch my computer monitor, but other than that, I would probably see this. I would definitely want to see this on... I might go in a movie theater to see it, only because it's an art house movie. I like to go to art house movies. But I would totally watch this on Netflix. Yeah, good choice for a first-time movie, Pete. Excellent choice.